Okay, this time let's go for a more vloggy style of video. A couple of updates. My cleaning arrangement. So I have added this board here, which I can remove to access the plumbing behind. I have added a light here. It's just an old battery lamp I had from the beginning of the work in the cellar, and I found a power supply for it. It wasn't working anymore, so I repurposed it. And here I have a tool wall. Starting it out, not sure what it will look like in the end. I'm trying to be very minimalistic in my 3D printing, as always. This is a welding rod without the flux. So humidity is okay right now. We had a few very hot days in Europe. And I was starting to have humidity creeping up. We can see it's a bit more humid at the bottom because it's very cold, so the warm air come here and condense on the colder surfaces. I'm happy. I think the dehumidifier did its job and I didn't have any big condensation, any droplets on the main wall. It was starting to creep up a bit, and now the weather has turned a bit more colder, so yeah, I think this is working. The ground is sometimes a bit moist because it's really cold, like 10 degrees or something. Yeah, I'm kind of optimistic. We'll see when the summer returns in force. So let me show you the best part, which is that. So I finally got my anvil from my friend who was keeping it for me. It was a fun half hour trying to get in down the stairs. It's not a very big anvil, but it's straight, and I'm really happy to have it now. I have got my hammers and tongs back also. I use this, which is part of the cable tray, and I had one length too much, so why not use it that way? It's a bit over. Yeah, we'll see in time if I need to add some supports. But yeah, really happy. I did which I can't put on my bench's modular base, so that's good. I know the forces are not really well dispersed with this setup, but this little anvil, I will only use it for light task. Yeah, wanted to try it. This workbench in here, so it will be more like an island, since I can't really work on the walls. Still here, and I opted for 2mm side wall this time. It's the same size as before, but a little less metal, and it really feels way less heavy, and it was quite a bit cheaper, of course, which is why I chose it. I'm a bit afraid of the way I will be going around the island, so I want some chamfer edges, not a straight corner. So I will be working on this trapezoidal shape. Okay, I have my steel cut and cleaned. Now I'll work on layouting my angle cuts. Those are again strange angles. Cut the angle, and maybe I'll try to find what kind of angle it is, so I can set up the miter saw. The angles are cut, and I think it's not too bad. It looks like that. The next step is to replicate the square for the modular base. I used it also for this base. Okay, I've kind of simplified my setup using those tubes at the corner. Since I'm welding here, I don't have any welds in the corner, so the corners are still clear. It was a bit easier to set up, a bit faster, so I'll use that for the two modular bays that I've left after this one. Okay, so I made the square. Went okay, I had to fiddle around with my settings. This is the layout. Here we'll have a member coming here. Other side the same, so yeah, this will be just a tack for now. Not too bad. the welds are not the strongest or the best looking, but it's gonna be okay. I'm still trying to get hold of this new wall thickness. I'm gonna try to set up a work area here, something. The main issue I have is that the floor is not that level. So I think I'll try to set up my trestle sources. Yeah, you can do all the 3D modeling and stuff like that, but it's not until you see the whole thing that you realize the scale. I think it's gonna be okay. This rail is supposed to be longer and this one shorter, but I'll cut the two rails at the same length and I'll remove the bit here at the end, so I can use the string method and the diagonal measurement. So it's day 2 of this build. I have my setup here, which don't know, I'm not really sure, but yeah, I don't know how to build it any other way. But with all the clamps I can't really do the string method or measure the diagonals. I think I'll tack what I can, flip it around, and then I'll work on the flatness. It's all tacked. Let's see if I can flip it around without everything flying off. 203.2. 203.5. Trying the string method with the welding rod as a spacer, almost the same size of the string. Issue is the string is a bit stretchy, so I don't know to which extent it matters, but I don't know, they are meeting and touching, so maybe this one would like to go a bit below. I'm gonna tack it and weld it on this side and flip it around and weld it on the other side. So it's done, fully welded. I mean fully, I'm only welding the top sides, top and bottom. I'm putting a tack, a big tack on the sides. I think it will be more than enough. I've cut here. The workshop is full of smoke again, but I'm done with the top. I have added my tabs to screw the bench top over. I have added some length support also to screw the bench top from below. Yeah, so I bought some 2mm rods and it went better for the welding I did on that. It's not straight everywhere, but I think it's yeah, it's gonna be okay. When I come back, I'll flip the table over and we'll start working on the legs. I have prepared all of the fits, so just epoxied the threaded rod and the nut into the 3D printed bottom fit, and this is the part going into the tube, obviously. Printed in this orientation, so I have some layer going at a diagonal, so the forces are transferred through the shoulder, so it shouldn't snap. So I'll cut the legs now, weld them, and this is for later, of course. Okay, so I'll give you 10 seconds to see what mistakes I'm about to make. Here is my 3-axis setup, which is working really well, but I haven't flipped over the top. So I'm about to weld my first leg on the wrong side here, which I caught, which is pretty nice. And half done. Went okay. I have some good welds, less good, but it's straightish. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I'll do the rest of the leg tomorrow. Legs are all there. I starting laying out the position of the angle iron that will be used to support all of the shelves. So now I am cutting them and placing it, but I did I don't know, this isn't exactly parallel to this one, and this one isn't at all, so I will have a lot of measurement and precise cutting to do. So I'm missing those two ones, and I messed up at the back, which I knew I would at some point. Those should be the other way around. There should be this way when I flip it back, when I put the board here. Doesn't really matter, it will just mean that I have the board showing up here, but I really need to make extra care to not do this mistake for this, those one and also the one at the front, because this will be more visible and I don't want to see the front of the OSB, so I need to flip the angle iron around. Yeah, so here it is. This is the kind of setup I'm making to align everything, remembering to turn those on the opposite way than those ones. Yeah, so I finished the front cage and now I have 6 left, but yeah, let me tell you, I'm not having a fun time here. Welding is quite difficult, I don't really know why, but I have a lot of porosity and inclusions, which I don't know, even with grinding the metal bare. Not really happy with the process. I end up having to make 2 or 3 welds to cover those areas, and even then it's not the best. Maybe looking straight, I don't know anymore. Yeah. Finally, I'm done with the steel work. You know what? It looks straight. Of course, it's quite difficult because even if this is square at the time, it can move after it cools down, and when you weld one, it bends this way, and so I did my best. It's done, the steel work is done at last. I'm really glad. I now will flip it and take a bit of rest and start on the woodwork. It's very strange to see it at the right height, the right position. I am very happy with the space I have here. I think it's well within acceptable ranges. On the other side, with the OSB, it's hard to get an idea, but I think it's okay. So I am really happy for that. I think it's lining up pretty well. It wasn't that heavy. 2% went really okay. So today we are starting on the woodworking part of the build. Should be easier, let's hope. I will try to use the tongue and groove of the USB because I don't have supports falling on every junction point. So yeah, I will use the tongue and groove with glue and hope it will turn okay. I will use the board in this orientation, so I will cut them in 2 and place them that way. And I think also for the top, because one board isn't long enough to go through here, so it's a bit annoying. I have 8 boards. 4 will be for the bottom, 3 and 1 for this little part, and 4 will be for the 2 layers of the top. Okay, first major mistake in my plan, and I guess some of you saw it coming. I boxed myself into a corner here with those posts here. I should have put the angle iron flush with this, but I thought it would be okay, just a couple of notches with jigsaw, nothing to worry about. But now I can't fit this board here. I don't have the height to move it that way because of this one. And yeah, I'm wondering what to do now. One of the easiest solutions would be to cut here. Okay, so I did that. It's not looking the best, but it's okay. This, I think, will be strong enough. So yeah, let's keep on going. Okay, so not too bad, but this is a bit wider than it needs to be. I need to, yeah, it's a bit ugly, but other than that, yeah, really starting to see it. Okay, so this cutout is quite tricky, and I got this one comically bad. I mean, yeah, I think my measurements were okay, it's just that I didn't measure what I should have. So I started over for the second one, and I hope that it will be better. I have some asymmetry because, of course, nothing is exactly where it needs to be. Those were quite difficult to get perfectly. I cut the shape here by hand, so I'm gonna cut it and see how it goes. Starting to take shape again. I have managed to do a better job on this one. And I'll see if I have the time or courage to do the other one back. I don't think I have enough USB, so for now it will stay like this. And I'm working on the top, so I will do 2 layers, staggering them this way. And I think this will be the top. So I think I'll stop there for today. I wanted to finish and at least have the top together, but it's late. I am a bit bummed there is a gap between the boards. Like the bigger tongue here is a couple of millimeters too big. We are nearly there. It's another day. I screwed up the first cut of the day. I cut this board 10 centimeters too short. But I managed to reuse the bad board I had left to do this bit. So the top layer now will be the bottom layer. I need to remove all, and I'll try to cut the tongues only on the top layer. I don't mind having a gap on the bottom. So I'll flip all that around, cut the 2-3 tongues that are in the way. I'm ready to glue the top layer now. I hope I have enough glue. I don't. This is almost full, but we'll see. And I'll put some screws from below because I'll use clamp on the perimeter. And I cut another piece for this, and now it's like nobody will ever know the difference, but I'm happier with it now, so yay. It's glued. I mean, I hope it is. I'll give that a couple of hours to set. I'm happy with the gap closed. It's not exactly perfect, but it's I think way better than before. And we'll see about straightness and levelness. So it's a couple hours later. I removed the clamps. I sanded roughly the top surface with 40 grain, and I cut the back here. Here it's flush to the metal, but here it's not, so maybe I'll have to do another cut. I trim both the layers to be the same. Yeah, I'm a bit off here. I managed to cut the back flush, which is way nicer, and I finished my shoulder with the router. It's not hard, but it's not fun. The noise and everything. So I got my cut lines. I put some tubes parallel to the one below, so I have an accurate representation and it's easier that way. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm gonna postpone doing the trim for tomorrow. But I've cut the plate and it went really well this time. So I'm happy with that. I'm tried another plate and it didn't go quite as well, so again a couple of millimeters off. So I'll see what I'll do about that later. I've screwed the top now well into the structure. Everything is very solid. So I've cut my angle irons. Everything is laid out. I've made the holes and countersunk them. Cut the slight angle here. So everything is ready to do something that I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking of tacking them in place. Once it's stuck, I can cut here. So that will give me two halves that will be easier to fully weld over there. So it went well. This one is a bit raised up, but it's I'm gonna sand it and it's gonna be okay. So it's all tacked, and I'm glad it was the right play. Now let's cut those, and once it's cut, can I remove the... Yes. Okay. So I'll cut that with the angle grinder. I'm done, finally. Oh. Let me put that back. I'm done with fabrication, almost. Only thing left is the electricity. So I kept 4 boxes, 4 plugs for that. But those are a bit... so I don't know. Maybe I should try something like that. Or just, I don't know, something like that. And, but yeah, it's all done. Pretty happy with my welding here. I've made my plate, which is a bit loose. Was trying to work quickly. I am thinking of making a kind of locking mechanism. Keep one corner fixed and having one corner that is movable with a cam, so it sits itself on the corner. But yeah, I think I'll have to have this adjustability, because I'm not building the plates the same way So there is some wobble side to side because I have no cross bracing, so that's expected. It's still very stable, but yeah, there is a bit of resonance when it's cranking that way. Here I have plenty of space. Really happy about that. Really happy about the bevels here. That makes turning around really nice. And on the other side, yeah, I could push it a bit more. So this will allow me to finally get rid of the table workbench here. And yeah, once that's done, I think I'll be able to organize a bit better, because as you can see, I'm still struggling a bit to be organized. Let's put the hammer back. Obviously not the Ford hammer. It's finally completely done. I put 3 coats of varnish on the top, and I got this interesting reaction. So it's a water-based varnish, contrary to the one I used before, which was solvent-based, mineral spirit. And yeah, I'm happy with the result on the OSB. And I'm not too mad about that, but it's interesting. It's, flash rust in places, but it's not growing anymore. The more coat I applied, the less it didn't change anything. So this was the first coat that did that. Yeah, a bit here, not great, but I like the finish. It's a satin finish. And it's, I think it's great on OSB. It's helping holding all the strays fibers. I'll try to find the exact position I want. That's a bit tricky because what I need to build behind needs to be referenced to a position of this bench. Not millimeter wise, but still. So yeah, I'll try to align it the way I want. So just to show you some stuff, I'm gonna be using those targets, which I always forgot to do, and those will be helpful to align my scene. So those are reference coordinates, so origin, x-axis and y-axis, and this one is just another distance gauge, which I can place anywhere. It's not referenced as a position in space, it's just the distance between the two targets. And this will help in the photo scan process, just so I don't have to do that manually. Yeah, so this is working with Reality Capture, which is a free photogrammetry software. And that's it. This is the end. Yeah, she's mighty impressive up there. I guess my last stand was a bit shorter, but it's not too bad a height. And yeah, the storage is also starting to grow. And sorry for the low effort video, I just wasn't feeling it this time. I thought that showing the same thing again and again wasn't that much value, so I have the last workbench to do and a couple little things in between. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.